Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining me on the Roaming Prepper channel. I'm your host, Pete, and if you have not been to a situation report before, it's basically a compilation of publicly released news from around the world coming from government sources, mainstream media, and other open sources. It's part of a set of reports that I get because of a job I used to have with this same company I'm with now. And what I can share, I share with all of you. It goes by regions of the world alphabetically, followed by the nations that are relevant alphabetically for each region. So I'm going to start, try and get this one in quick, starting with Africa. So Cameroon, Maurice Kamto denounces 2025 presidential election exclusion as a political plot. This is from Africa News. Maurice Kamto, the former leader of the Cameroon resistance movement, who is basically the opposition party, has sharply criticized the country's ruling party and its institution after being excluded from the coming presidential elections. We saw that here, where they tried to disqualify various candidates, including Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders, RFK, basically the people in power, even if you're in their party, if you don't follow the party line, they try and exclude you. So this will be interesting. Congo has had some serious issues lately. All right, yeah, wrong story. Okay, there we go. So this is from Reuters News. Congo, M23 rebel group says no invitation received to Doha peace talks with Congo. The Rwanda-backed M23 rebel group has not received an invitation to peace talks with the Democratic Republic of Congo, scheduled to begin in Doha on Friday. Its leader, Bernard Bisimwa, told reporters on Thursday. So still a lot of instability in the Congo, has a lot of mineral resources. So we don't know what other larger companies or countries have their hands in this conflict. Moving on to Kenya, air ambulance crashes in residential area just outside Nairobi, killing 6. This is from Africa News. The plane belonging to an air ambulance service provider crashed in a residential area just outside the capital, killing at least 6. So that's unfortunate. Unfortunately, here in the States, we call them a life flight. A lot of us call them a life flight. These things happen, unfortunately. East Asia, moving new region, East Asia and Pacific, Cambodia and Thailand and Cambodia to deploy ceasefire monitors despite deadlock over captured soldiers. This is from AP News. Thailand and Cambodia agreed Thursday to establish interim observer teams to monitor a fragile ceasefire that ended 5 days of deadly armed clashes on the border, even as the fate of 18 Cambodian soldiers captured by Thailand remains unresolved. The president of the U.S., Trump, had basically called both countries and said, look, I will tariff the crap out of you, and you guys need to come to the table. We need to stop. And they, after some discussions, everyone agreed, but there's some old lingering hostilities here because, believe it or not, right along the border, which didn't exist, I guess, before the French colonial period, there are a lot of religious, like Buddhist and other monuments, icons, and temples, and there's been a lot of conflict over those. It's a very interesting situation. It looks like it's stable now. Moving on. Papua New Guinea, magnitude 5.9 earthquake strikes Papua New Guinea's New Britain region, according to Reuters. This was a 5.9 earthquake struck the New Britain region in Papua New Guinea on Friday, according to the European Mediterranean Seismological Center, known as the EMSC. This was on Reuters. A lot of earthquakes lately, and now there's a volcano in Russia that was near that big earthquake that sent tsunami fears to everybody. That thing is now spewing a bunch of ash, so that's kind of concerning, actually. That's all we need. You want to fix global warming? Yeah, let's go have a bunch of big volcanoes spew ash into the sun or into the air, and then we won't have sun, and everything will cool off pretty damn quick, I'll tell you that. Moving on, Europe. Armenia and Azerbaijan. U.S. brokers a deal between long-hostile Armenia and Azerbaijan. This is from Politico. Now, both nations are also expected to sign agreements expanding bilateral ties with Washington, A breakthrough made possible because the U.S. helped resolve a dispute over the development of a shared transit corridor, according to 3 U.S. officials. Now, again, what I'm hearing is this was Rubio under the president's directive. Basically said, look, these guys have been fighting, by the way, since World War I or before that. Like, they were part of the reason World War I started. The Serbians and the Austrians were fighting, and these guys, and it just went downhill. Trump, that whole reference to bilateral ties, was basically them saying, look, we're going to expand trade with you guys, but you guys can't be shooting at each other, so chill. And they negotiated out something that both countries were okay with. They're going to get some more trade. They can import to us. We're going to export to them. And it also positions the U.S. to have more friends in the region, which is never a bad thing. So well played by the State Department guys. That's what they should be doing, is not causing shit, but resolving problems and making new friends. So I'm kind of happy. Okay, moving on. France. This is from ABC News. High temperatures threaten to reignite France's largest wildfire in decades. Firefighters and local authorities remained on high alert Friday after France's largest wildfire in decades was contained in the south of the country amid forecasts of very high temperatures, which could reignite the blaze. I'm not following the France fires very much, but these things do happen. Moving on to France again, El Al Airlines Paris office was vandalized with anti-Israel graffiti. The vandalism bears similarities to other apparent anti-Semitic attacks on Jewish sites in Paris in recent years, with authorities stating before that there was reason to believe Russian intelligence services were involved in a bid to stir tensions. This is from Euronews. Now, that's interesting because we're seeing a lot of the echoes of the 1930s. There's attacks on Jews in the street, spray painting of buildings, and it's going both ways. There was a group of Jews beat up somebody because the guy broke the window at a synagogue, so they came out and kicked his ass. There's a lot of tension. And keep in mind, we in the West are kind of stupid. In my opinion, we go to Twitter, we go to Instagram or YouTube, wherever the hell social media, and we'll go, oh no, the left did this, the right did that, the Jews, the Christians, the Muslims. And in reality, it could be Russia, it could be China saying, you know what, let's go antagonize that guy and plant something to make him blame him so they can fight each other and keep our enemies occupied. We've done it. The US and Britain had this down to an art form for generations. So it happens. So always take these kind of news reports, not that I don't believe this was an incident, but keep it with a grain of salt. Like, what is the bigger picture? We have a lot of people panicking over, oh, I'm afraid to go out. I'm going to get whatever's going to happen to me because of my ethnic group, my religion. We really need to look at the bigger picture. Who really benefits from this, right? We burned, during the Antifa riots and then January 6th and people burning down and fighting everywhere. We didn't win. We didn't gain anything. You know who won? Someone else. So just keep those kind of things in mind. It's important to have that kind of perspective. And of course, my screen reset on me, so bear with me just a second here. There we go. Okay, moving on to the Middle East and North Africa. Israel and Lebanon. Lebanon says Israel's strike killed 5, wounded 10, according to Arab News. Lebanon said an Israeli strike on the country's east on Thursday killed at least 5 people in the latest attack, despite a November ceasefire with militant group Hezbollah. Then moving on to the Palestinian territories, Israel's Security Cabinet approved a plan on Friday to take control of Gaza City, a move expanding military operations in the shattered territory despite growing criticism at home and abroad over the almost 2-year war. This is according to Reuters. So if you're not aware, Israel has basically decided they're going to acquire Gaza again. They had occupied Gaza for a while. They're going to basically put it on the martial law. They're going to split it up into sectors, and the sectors will be separated from each other by gates and walls. So if you want to go from A to B to C, you have to go through, basically show me your papers and you can go through. To prevent groups like Hamas and Hezbollah, specifically Hamas, from gathering enough people to get a head of steam to go do something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just know these people have been fighting forever. I mean, some of this hatred goes back 1,000 years. I will say that if somebody came into the U.S. and killed a bunch of people and we had to go take over part of some other country to stop them from continuing to fight with us, that would be probably something we would do. We've done it before. But difficult situation all around. Not a fan of Hamas by any means. I'm just looking at the bigger geopolitical scenario. Moving on, South and Central Asia, Pakistan, 8 injured as massive fire at Karachi's export processing zone put out after hours-long efforts, according to Dawn News. Never heard of them. Massive blaze at the factory in the Karachi export processing zone near Landi has injured 8 people and damaged at least 3 other factories. Western Hemisphere, Bolivia. Bolivia's socialists lose support of the Aymara once their base. I don't know what that is. The indigenous people. The rise in power and influence of the indigenous Aymara people in Bolivia has been the country's biggest political shift in recent decades, driven by the success of former President Evo Morales and the leftist party he founded. That's interesting. But you think if you have one culture, one community, then socialism makes more sense, doesn't it? Because you're all one society, one religion, one ethnic group. When you have a mixed country like the West, like the US, you have all these different people. It doesn't make as much sense. Regardless, Bolivia's having financial issues because typical socialists, they're spending more than they take in. So this will be interesting. I got to watch this one. I did not know this. Some of this stuff I'm reading for the first time as I do this video. Colombia, 5 charts to show how criminal organizations in Colombia work and grow, according to the Atlantic Council News. Backed by networks of economic activity, these groups have grown from local and regional gangs to multinational empires. Today, criminal organizations have economic and security resources that rival some nations. Wow. Not that that should surprise any of us, but wow. Well, think about it. What are the big businesses in the world? Military, energy, drugs, people, like trafficking or crime. I don't know if you want to put those two together. That's kind of scary where like Exxon and Chevron have as much assets and security as like Cartel 23 over in Colombia. Just something to think about. Moving on, Haiti. Haiti's a new leadership is appointed in Haiti as gangs threaten to overthrow the new government. According to the Associated Press, a wealthy businessman on Thursday became the head of Haiti's Transitional Presidential Council, tasked with restoring order in the country. The top gang leader underscored the challenges facing the nation by vowing to overthrow the government. Then in Mexico, remittances to Mexico are trending down for the first time in over a decade. This is Mexico Daily News. Remittances to Mexico decreased 5.6% the first 6 months of 2025, with continued losses expected. By year's end, they're expected to be down 5.8%, according to the Migration and Remittances Yearbook. In Mexico, Ciudad Juarez, old criminal groups form new criminal guard from Insight Crime. The information was an ominous sign that a wider cartel war was breaking out in the state. The big players were La Línea versus the Sinaloa cartel, but behind those names are now new factions. Oh, Mexico's going to have a problem with that. And then lastly, Panama. Panama brings lawfare to the canal port saga. This is from The Economist. The ports are ours, declared Anel Flores, Panama's Controller General, on July 30th. His office, which manages public funds, has just filed 2 cases with the Supreme Court, asking it revoke the contract held by C.K. Hutchinson Company. And I'm trying to see what the nature of the company is. But in any case, a lot of moving parts. Now, we just read in this article that there are at least 2 conflicts that have been, how shall I say, the steam has been taken out of these conflicts. That would be Cambodia and Thailand and Azerbaijan, Armenia, because of the use of economic tariffs and trade as opposed to weaponry. This is, this current administration's approach. It seems to be working okay. Also, in case you missed the previous Syria, the new Syrian government, although it's led by a former ISIS guy, apparently deals were made, and he has agreed to keep control of the country and not allow terrorism to come out. And the U.S. is now acknowledging this new country as a potential trade partner. So Syria gets the win, and that now they have an acknowledged central government. They have a trade partner in the U.S. We get oil, they get food, and this guy has agreed to keep control of the fringes. He's still working his way through that, but the use of economic leverage, I have not seen it used like this in a long time, where it was truly effective. I know Clinton did it once or twice. I know Reagan did it a little bit, but using it the way that it's been used now has been really interesting. And as you know, as I've said before, I prefer our soldiers stay at home unless we at home are in imminent danger, in which case we go and kick someone's ass. So we'll see where all this winds up. This is very interesting, seeing this economic leverage as opposed to military leverage, and that it's working and deals are being made. That might be a good thing. That might be the start of a new trend. Maybe more exports, more manufacturing here in the U.S., more trade partners. It'll benefit the little countries because they can export to us. Let's see where it goes, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, I'll leave you with that. Thanks again for joining me. If you have any questions or thoughts on any of these stories, throw them in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you on the next video. You guys take care of yourselves.